Hello everyone, I hope you guys are doing well. Today we are going to discuss wait time and talk time. Yes, there's a difference between student talk time and wait time. They're two different things. Wait time is the time between when the teacher asks the question and the student responds. So, for example, I ask my student a question and I give them a little bit of time to process the information and then they respond. So, wait time has a huge effect on your lesson, especially when you are working with English language learners. It's the difference between a student fully being engaged and participating and a student becoming frustrated and giving up. When students are learning a new language, they need time to listen to the question and process what they've just heard. Many students need additional time to translate what they have just heard. And once they understand the question, they need time to formulate a response in English. And then the third thing is they need to build courage to speak up, to raise their hand and answer the questions. So first, they need to process, understand what the question is saying. Then they need to formulate an answer, and then they need to have a courage to speak up and answer that question. When we don't give enough wait time for our questions, what happens is when we don't give enough time to our students to answer the questions, some of them can just shut down, especially English language learners. They'll basically, what they will do is they're going to think that, well, I don't understand the question. She's not giving me enough time. Might as well just not listen to her. So they'll just tune us out. And many will think that the question is not for them. So why should they listen? Normally, in a normal classroom, research has been done that wait time has been less than 1.5 seconds. However, research also shows that if you double that time to 3 seconds, a lot of positive effects have been experienced. The length of responses increased, the correctness of responses increased, more students volunteered to answer the questions, and more students increased their self-confidence and spoke up. As I was saying, that it has a lot of positive effects if you increase the wait time, especially for English language learners. Now, what is talk time? In the past, we would think that talk time means kids are just talking, they're disrupting the classroom, they're having side conversations. But talk time is defined as students needing to talk in order to engage with the material and express their ideas. So it's not them having side conversations, they're actually engaging with the material and they're understanding it, they're comprehending it, then they're expressing their ideas. Student talk time allows us teachers to assess the students. You're doing your informal assessment. You're walking around and you're going to see how the students are engaging in the subject matter. And then at the same time, you can also clarify some misunderstandings or misapplication of information. It gives you a chance to correct a wrong idea before it gets stuck in the students' brains. Why is student talk time important in my classroom, in an ESL classroom? Well, for the ESL classroom, the issue of teacher talk versus student talk becomes even more critical. because English language learners, they need to practice speaking and listening in a controlled environment and a supportive environment. We don't have a lot of students who like to speak in English outside of the classroom. They have, friends who come from similar backgrounds. They speak the same language. They tend to converse with them in their own language and not practice English. So when they are with me, if they have that 1 period or 2 periods with me, that is their opportunity to practice their speaking skills, their listening skills. So recently I created a new lesson for my students, focusing on speaking. And this lesson was an ESL conversation activities. So we started off with first listening, listening a conversation. Actually, I showed them some videos of how introductions are done, how two people in a school introduce each other, they get to know each other, create small talk. And then the next activity was for them to introduce themselves to each other in their group. Ask very simple questions. Let me show you what the questions were. Okay, so I had, hopefully you can see this. There are 2 sets of questions. The first set of questions is just, what is your name? Where do you come from? Do you like it there? Very simple, straightforward questions. These are for my beginner students, lower beginner students. And then there's, after they were comfortable asking those questions, then I moved on to question set B, which is a little more detailed. Describe your parents. How are you feeling today? Who's in your family? How old are you? More difficult questions. And then after they got comfortable speaking to their partner in their group, they're more comfortable, they know each other now. And then we started practicing a scenario. I provided them with a conversation between 2 students. One student was new and the other one was a veteran student, how they, introduced each other and helped each other and so on. So we practiced that conversation, and then they were to create a conversation with their classmates. This helped them, engage with their peers, understand the material, and gave them enough talk time. They were able to speak, and I was able to just walk around and facilitate and see how their vocabulary is improving, what it is that they're confused about, what they need to understand, and so on and so forth. So especially in my school setting where I am, it is very important for me to give talk time to students and wait time to students. I hope you understood the difference between wait time and talk time. And also there's an image that you can see. It talks about the power of wait time, how students need to listen to the question first, then they need to process it, and then they may have to translate it in their in English from their language. And then, like I said, they need to build courage to speak up and then raise their hands. And so this whole process takes few seconds, or sometimes for me, a minute or 2. And I have to allow my students to do that so that they can respond properly. All right. Thank you. Have a great day.